Hello, I'm Mark Sangerman. Welcome to No Cold Call Recruiting, the training video all about how to make money as a home-based recruiter without ever having to cold call companies for job orders. Thank you for watching. For my entire career as a recruiter and trainer, over 17 years, I've dedicated myself to teaching people how to make money at home using the very latest recruiting methods available. Today, I'm going to introduce you to what I truly believe is the most significant and exciting innovation the recruiting industry has seen since the very introduction of the Internet. You see, right now, the recruiting industry is undergoing a huge transformation in the way recruiting firms and companies work together. This transformation is happening because a group of new emerging companies are making the idea of cold calling for job orders completely obsolete. These companies are called recruiting exchanges. But the model that these new emerging companies are using is different from those you may have seen in the past. Companies like Diak, Bounty Jobs, Talent Maze, and others are opening doors for a whole new generation of recruiters who focus all of their time on candidate sourcing and do no cold calling for job orders whatsoever. Traditionally, recruiters have had little choice but to get their job orders through cold calling. That's because it's been the only practical way to communicate with companies and gain their approval to submit candidates for open jobs. But cold calling requires several arduous steps, including researching new companies, taking job specifications, and of course, negotiating fee agreements with hiring managers and human resource departments. There's also the usual haggling over things like guarantee periods, getting on the company's preferred vendor list, and so on. With all this work involved, the average recruiter can easily spend 10 to 20 hours per week just cold calling for new business. It's time-consuming, it's unpredictable, and it can take its toll on even the best recruiters and salespeople. In fact, as a trainer, every year I meet extremely bright people who could go on to become successful in recruitment, but end up leaving the industry because either they don't like cold calling or just aren't very good at it. Cold calling has become the most painful aspect of being a recruiter. And the recruiters are not alone in their suffering. The companies want a better solution too. They need talented workers who are pre-screened and ready to work, but every recruiter calls in and wants to negotiate their own fee agreement before submitting candidates. As well, many companies feel they have no access to a recruiter's best talent because they can't afford the fees that traditional recruiting firms charge. Companies would prefer a solution that's cost-effective and involves just one consistent agreement that applies to all of the recruiting vendors. Instead, they've been stuck with recruiters cold calling every day and having to negotiate with each one of them individually. So what's the solution to all of this? Well, if you feel like enough is enough when it comes to the cold calling, or maybe you just prefer to work only the candidate side of the recruiting business, then the next generation of online recruiting exchanges may be the ideal solution for you. In the next generation of recruiting exchanges, the need for cold calling and negotiating fee agreements has been completely eliminated. That's because all of the companies who post their open jobs on these exchanges state the placement fee they're willing to pay the recruiter who fills the job with the right candidate. There is no negotiation of the placement fee. The company decides the fee it's willing to pay on its own and displays that amount with the job description posted on a recruiting exchange. If the job gets filled by a recruiter who's a member of the exchange, the placement fee that was shown with the job posting gets paid to the recruiter who filled the job. It's that simple. With the placement fee and job description already shown in the posting, there's no need to cold call by telephone for a job order. That's why we call it no cold call recruiting. You never have to cold call for job orders when you use a recruiting exchange. The great thing about this is that by using exchanges as your primary source of job orders, you can focus all of your time on doing things that really make money for your business, like finding great candidates, submitting them to companies, and earning placement fees when the candidates you submit get hired. And since all recruiting exchanges can be accessed via the Internet, it really is possible to make money working right from home with a home-based recruiting business. In fact, exchanges are making it possible for anyone to run a legitimate business where you can work full or part-time or even change your career altogether. Plus, while you're busy earning income through your recruiting business, your service as a recruiter can have a positive impact on the candidates and companies you meet on a daily basis. Of course, to become successful, it will take plenty of self-motivation and knowing the most effective techniques for finding qualified candidates. In this training program, I'll show you the best methods for making money with online recruiting exchanges, and I'll give you my top 10 proven strategies on how to find qualified candidates. In addition, I'll teach you how to master every step of the recruiting process so you'll be in complete control of your work as a recruiter. Are you ready to learn how you can start earning money in recruiting? I hope so, because I'm ready to show you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this training program.